Okay, students, today we're going to talk about volume of prisms and pyramids. By the end of this video, you should be able to calculate the volume of both prisms and pyramids. First of all, let's discuss what volume is. The definition is that it is the number of cubic units needed to fill a solid figure. And so since we're working with cubic units, three-dimensional cubes, we would label our measurements with an exponent of 3. That's describing it as being cubic, versus with area we had squares because we were talking about square units, not cubic units. So for cubic units, you want to label it centimeters cubed, inches cubed, feet cubed with a 3 exponent. Two formulas you need for this video. Prisms is volume equals big B, remember that's area of the base, times the height. And pyramids are volume equals 1/3 big B times the height. Okay, so essentially, looking at the two formulas, prisms and pyramids, if the shape of the base is the same and the height is the same, essentially 3 pyramids will fill up a prism. Okay, the volume inside a pyramid is 1/3 the volume of a prism if it has the same area of the base and the same height measurement. Let's practice how to do this. First, we need some steps. Step 1, find and shade the base. Step 2, calculate the B. Remember, capital letters in our geometry formulas mean that we have to calculate something. So capital B stands for the area of the base, so we're going to have to figure out whatever shape that base is, we need to find the area of it. Once we have the B, we identify the H in the picture and we plug those values into the formula, and then we simplify, so we solve the problem. So, example number 1, we've got a rectangular prism. For this rectangular prism, the base is a rectangle. We're just going to go ahead and shade the bottom as the base since it wasn't already predetermined. And if our formula is volume equals big B times H, and big B is the area of a rectangle, and you find the area of a rectangle by multiplying base times height of the rectangle, and then height of the prism. So there's two different H's here. There's the height of the actual base, and then there's the height of the prism. Okay? So 12 times 3, because this is parallel to this, so 12 times 3 would give us the area of the base. And then times the height of the prism. The height of the prism is 4, because that's how tall our prism is. So 12 times 3 is 36, and 36 times 4 would be 144. So we would have a volume of 144 centimeters cubed. Okay? Example number 2, we have a pyramid. Okay, we're going to shade the base. Remember, the base on a pyramid, there's only one of them. The bottom of this is our base, and it's a square or a rectangle. In this case, it's a square. All of the sides measure 4 feet. Okay, so if I want to find the volume equals 1/3 big B times H. Okay, big B stands for area of the base. It's a square, so we're doing base times height. And the base and the height in this case are both 4, so we're doing 4 times 4 for our big B. Height of our pyramid is down the middle of the pyramid. How tall is it? It has to be perpendicular to the base. So we have a height down the middle of the pyramid, which is 6. 1/3 times 4 times 4 times 6. So 4 times 4 would give us 16. And then 16 times 6 would be 96, so 1/3 times 96. So if we divide 96 by 3, we're going to have a volume of 32 feet cubed. Example 3, we have a prism again. We know it's a prism because the bases are parallel to each other, and rectangular faces are connecting them. So we need to shade our bases. Our bases in this case are both triangles. Okay? And so, again, we need to write down our formula. This is a prism. So we're going to use the Prism formula, volume equals big B times H. Okay? This time our capital B is a triangle. Okay? The area of a triangle. So I need to plug in my area formula for a triangle. So I'm going to do 1/2 base times height times the height of the prism. Okay? So base times height of the triangle. If I'm looking at just the base of the triangle, I know my height is this 4 down the middle, because that's perpendicular to the base. And I'm going to have to look at the opposing triangle to see that the base is 3. Okay? So 3 times 4 is going to be my base and height of the triangular base. Okay? And the height of the prism is how far apart are these two triangles from each other. Okay? How far apart are they? What is the height of my prism? The height of my prism is 10, so I'm going to put a 10 right here. Okay? So half 3 times 4. Well, first of all, 3 times 4 is 12. So half of 12 times 10. Half of 12 is 6. So 6 times 10 would be 60. So the volume of my prism, my triangular prism, is 60 meters cubed. Okay? Okay, this guy is a triangular pyramid. Okay, we know it's a pyramid because it only has one base, and we know that it's called a triangular pyramid because the base is in the shape of a triangle. Okay, so here's our base. We're going to go ahead and shade it. Alright, so we need the pyramid formula. Volume equals 1/3 big B times height. Again, big B is the area of a triangle. Okay? So we need to look at our area of a triangle formula. So we're going to do 1/3 half times base times height. Remember, base and height of the triangle times the height of the pyramid. Okay? So let's plug in our values. We know that, let's see. Okay, we know if we're just focusing on the base right now, the area of the base. Okay, that's what we shaded. The base of our triangle, okay, the base of the triangle is 12 centimeters. So we're going to put 12 right here. 1/2 12 times, and now I need the height of my base, the height of my triangular base. So I'm just focusing on this bottom triangle. The height of that triangle is down the middle of the triangle, so that's 10 centimeters. So we're going to use that right here. Okay? And now we need the height of the pyramid. So how tall is my pyramid? So from the base to the opposite apex would be right here. How tall is my pyramid? My pyramid is 17 centimeters. So I'm going to put a 17 right here. So 1/3 times half 12 times 10, that'll give me the area of the base, times 17, which is the height of the pyramid. Okay? 12 times 10 is 120. So we're going to rewrite 1/3 times 1/2 times 120 times 17. Okay, all we did was this little piece right here. So now half of 120 is 60. So 1/3 times 60 times 17. We have some choices we can make. We can do 60 times 17 and then multiply by 1/3. Or if you see a number that's easily divisible by 3, which I do, I see 60. 60 divided by 3 will give me 20. I can go ahead and I can do this 1/3 times 60 and get 20, and then 20 times 17. Okay, so all three of these are being multiplied, which means I can multiply them in any order. And since multiplying by 1/3 is the same as dividing by 3, I want to look for numbers that I can easily divide by 3, and 60 does that. So by reducing it to 20, 20 times 17 will give me a volume of 340. So 340 centimeters cubed would be the volume of my pyramid. Okay, let's talk about a word problem. So example 5 says concrete costs $70 per cubic foot. Okay, how much would it cost to pour a concrete slab that is 14 feet by 16 feet by 6 inches? Okay, we've got a dimensional change here. We're talking about feet. Our price is in cubic feet, but we have an inches measurement. So we need to make a choice of converting. And it would be easier for me to convert the 6 inches into how many feet that is. Well, we need to know that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. So if you have 6 inches, then you have 1/2 of a foot, okay? Or you can also say 0.5 if you want to work with decimals, okay? So half of the 12 inches would mean that you have half of a foot. So we're going to say 0.5 feet. So now let's draw a picture. Easy way to draw a rectangular prism is to draw a rectangle and draw another rectangle inside that one, and then connect all the corners with diagonal lines, okay? 14 by 16 is the base. We can shade that. And then by 6 inches, that's the height, so half a foot. So 0.5 would be this height measurement right here, okay? Volume equals capital B times H. Capital B is the area of the base. The area of the base is a rectangle, so base times height of my rectangle times the height of the prism. Base times height is 14 times 16. The height of my prism is 0.5. So 14 times 16 is going to be 224. 224 times 0.5, so half of 224 would be 112, and this is feet, since all of my units are feet, cubed, because we're trying to find volume. So if I know my volume is 112 feet cubed, and I know that each cubic foot is $70, how much would it cost? Well, now I need to take my volume and multiply it by 70. So 112 times 70 is going to be a total cost of $7,840. Okay? This would be my final answer for this problem. I could also answer in a complete sentence, and I could say that the concrete would cost $7,840. Okay, you have 2 U-tries. I want you to try a prism and a pyramid, applying those formulas you just learned, and bring those to class tomorrow so that we can check them.